Hey guys, it's Juanita Coley, the Contact Center Whisperer, the CEO and founder of Solid Rock Consulting. And I've been answering you guys' questions all month long. And so I'm back answering another question for you guys. This question, of course, I am a lover of all things workforce management. So, of course, out of the questions you guys submitted, one of the questions I picked was around workforce management. And the question is how to set up workforce management for your remote call center. So I thought this is really interesting because of the emphasis on remote call center. Okay, this is a big question, so I'm going to try and answer it as concisely. So I've written down my notes. Okay, now you guys know that I am lover of all things workforce management, and so I can get super passionate. This is not an end all be all video. So let me just get into that now. These are some of the things that I think are super important when setting up workforce management in a remote or for a remote call center. So first thing I think that you need to do is start with culture, right? Establish and define workforce management culture in your organization. What do you mean, Juanita? First, we need to figure out and define what are some of our goals and objectives that we're wanting to accomplish and start to infuse workforce management inside of that culture inside of the organization. Workforce management by sheer discipline impacts so many things. It impacts your customer experience, your employee experience, your business outcomes. And so it's not workforce management. The team is not just a siloed team that just kind of sits off in the corner and only impacts scheduling agents, right? It's responsible for, yes, scheduling agents and scheduling forecasting calls, but that has long-reaching impacts on the entire organization, on the entire customer experience, on the entire business. So when we're thinking about, okay, I'm standing up a workforce management team or department inside of our organization, and we have a remote environment, what are some of the things I need to be thinking about? Your customer experience. You need to be thinking about your employee experience. You need to be thinking about cost. What are your service level goals and or service agreements? Are you a heavy service level type of organization? Are you a first call resolution type of organization? You need to be thinking about what your objectives are and starting to infuse workforce management, the discipline or culture inside of your organization. How do you do that? Well, I'm glad you asked, right? So you need to start to think about all of the different departments that are going to workforce management is going to engage with. Yeah. What do you mean, Juanita, engage with? Workforce management is not just a silo, as you heard me mention earlier. Workforce management is often engaging or impacted by marketing, impacted by HR, impacted by IT. It's impacted by all of these different business functions within your organization. And if you're not creating a culture around workforce management, then they're generally this department, you know, the long lost brother or the big brother of the call center, but not seen in the rest of the organization as a critical, you know, like, oh, we need to let workforce management know about this. And so because they don't know, they're not included in those conversations. A lot of times that's going to impact the way they're forecasting or the way they are scheduling, what they're saying, what they're doing. Again, which is going to have trickle down impacts to the rest of the organization. So my number one, okay, when we're thinking about talking about, hey, I want to stand up workforce management inside of our organization. And on top of that, we have a remote environment is first, establish a WFM culture. Start to think about what your goals and objectives are for your organization. And two, to that, again, start to infuse workforce management and introduce them, that concept and that culture to the rest of the organization. I can promise you, I guarantee you that will make a significant difference in how workforce management, the discipline and culture is received within your organization. Take it from me and ask companies that are really successful with their workforce management teams if their workforce management teams talk to the other departments throughout the organization. Two, the discipline, really making sure as you're standing up the workforce management team that they understand the discipline, they understand what they are actually doing. When we think about the core components of workforce management, data gathering and analysis, forecasting, scheduling, intraday or real-time monitoring. Those are the 4 components, and each of those components, right, have their individual tasks that they're doing. But when we think about it in, like a cyclical or life cycle process, workforce management, the discipline are those 4 things, right? Data analysis and gathering, forecasting, scheduling, and intraday. So understanding that will allow, and having a team that understands their role and why they're doing what they're doing will allow them to, when I go to my next point, as far as leveraging technology, allow them to leverage the technology that you're then going to implement in your organization to do workforce management at scale. It's going to allow them to use that more effectively. So many times organizations will put technology second or first, right? They will say, hey, we're going to stand up a workforce management team. So they didn't even build a culture around it. They just really made an announcement, right? And then they go to start shopping for workforce management technology. And that's all fine and dandy, because you guys know I'm a techie. So I'm a firm believer in having the technology so you can scale that process. But technology does just that. It scales a good or bad process. It's not a respecter of type of process. Technology is going to scale a good process, and it's also going to scale a horrible process. So guess what? If you don't have workforce management discipline and process in place, your technology, your workforce management tool is going to scale or highlight your inefficiencies. And so when you make the announcement, right, that you are standing up a workforce management team, you haven't created culture around it. That's your first problem. But then the second thing that you do is you implement technology that is meant to scale, and you don't have a discipline. So many times I'm talking to organizations and they have a workforce, a beast, a Ferrari of a workforce management technology, and they don't have a workforce management team. Their supervisors, their operations team is running the workforce management team. And that's not what the operations team is there for. Support the employees, keep the employees engaged, motivate, train, coach, all those different things for the frontline staff. So you have your operations team double working, right? They're trying to impact employee experience and coaching and keep the team motivated. And you have them running a workforce management software, and then you're trying to figure out, well, why is our forecast off? Why are we not meeting service level? Why is our schedules off? Because that's not what they do. Would you hire a doctor to be your accountant? As great as they are, right? We all need doctors, right? But you wouldn't hire an accountant, right, to be your CPA, or give an accountant or give your doctor QuickBooks and say, oh yeah, go run our accounting department. What? I'm a doctor, I'm not an accountant. I'm not a CPA. So why would you give me QuickBooks? Give me a stethoscope. Okay. Don't give me, give me an EKG machine. I'm a doctor. So that's what's happening in organizations, is they are giving the operations team a CPA, tools, and saying, oh yeah, go run this. Making sure when you're standing up that team, you're creating discipline, and that they understand, okay, this is what it means to be on the workforce management team. And then again, it's not saying that operations cannot engage and can't use the WFM tool, but again, they need to understand their role in the life cycle. Just like I don't come to your job and, tell you how to make the fries, right? Or I don't come to your job and tell you how to run the EKG machine, right? Or just like I don't come to your job and try and tell you, like, they are the expert. Right. And so you engage with them, you consult with them. And so having a dedicated workforce management team that is disciplined in their knowledge makes you able to, as an organization, when you're talking about standing up a workforce management team in a remote environment, allows you to be able to engage with operations that much more effectively and efficiently. So those are your 3 things. OK, creating a culture where you're not just making an announcement that, oh yeah, we're looking for workforce management software, and we're going to do, we need to get this under control. Our forecasts are out of control. Our schedules, agents are, right now we're passing out schedules on Post-it notes or in Excel. That's how we schedule. And so we need a tool. That's generally how organizations go about getting workforce management. They don't create a culture first around it and say, okay, what are our objectives? And let's create a culture around this. and then say, now let's go ahead and create a discipline. Let's make sure we have a team in place that understands workforce management, understands gathering data, analyzing that data, forecasting, scheduling, intraday. They understand those things, and then scaling that with technology. Okay. So those are my 3 tips for you when it comes to, like how you should be going about setting up a workforce management culture, discipline, and solution inside of your organization, right? So you have to think about this in multi-tiers and multi-layers. It is culture, discipline, solution. Okay, because that will have dramatic, tremendous impacts when we're talking about now employee experience, when we're talking about customer experience, when we're talking about over and understaffing from a business outcome. You got people sitting idle. So you're spending out a lot of money as a business. You have people that are burnt out. The calls are coming back to back to back because, again, the discipline of forecasting isn't within your organization. So now how's that impacting employee experience? They're burnt out. So again, workforce management, the discipline impacts culture and it impacts employee experience, customer experience, and business outcomes. So those are some just quick tips on this question here. What should you be thinking about when thinking about setting up workforce management in a remote environment? Think about your culture, think about the discipline and setting that up, and then also think about the technology. Your technology should be able to support the discipline. That's another nugget for you. The technology should be able to support the discipline. So if you're buying technology and you have a discipline in place to analyze data, forecast, schedule, do intraday, and the technology can't support that, then is it really a workforce management tool? So many organizations, or you have technology out that says it's classified as workforce management technology, and it's really not. It's a quality product, right? Or you have products that are out and they're saying, oh yeah, it's WFM. No, it's actually workforce engagement technology, not workforce management technology. Those are 2 different things. Okay. And so that's a conversation for another video. I hope this was helpful to you. Submit your questions. I've been loving the questions. Keep them coming, and I'll be back with an answer to another video. See y'all soon. Bye.